Good morning. Welcome back to our coffee devotionals. We're exploring passages that are speaking, well, right now, speaking to my heart. So I chose these. But I'm inviting you. If you have passages that are speaking to you right now, share them. I'll happily talk about them here on the coffee. Even if you really want to get fancy, share a passage and why it speaks to you, right? Give you a shout out on coffee. It'd be great. Let's do this devotional together. Lord knows I'm running out of ideas. Oh, anyway, this is one of my, well, all these are one of my favorites, right? And gosh, it was funny. I was thinking through which one to do today. There's so many, right? There's so many texts that are Scripture is so rich with great fertilizer for our soil, shall we say, right? Help nourish our faith. It's such a gift. Today, I'm taking us to Matthew 20. Matthew 20. It's called, in my translation, the laborers in the vineyard. I would actually call it the parable of the generous vineyard owner. That's what I would call it, because the focus is not on the workers. The focus is on the owner, right? So this is the story to summarize. Starts in verse 1. This is the story to summarize that has the workers who the vineyard worker or owner comes out looking for laborers during the day. He starts in the morning. He gets some saying, "Hey, I'll pay you the daily wage to work my vineyard." Great. He comes back at noon. Same thing. 2, same thing. He comes back at various times during the day. Even those that are in the last hour of the workday, right? Before you lose that sun, he comes out and says, "Hey, come work my vineyard, okay?" 5 o'clock. And so it's funny. He then pays the workers in reverse order, okay? So when those who were hired at 5 o'clock, this is in verse 9, by the way, each of them received the usual daily wage. Now when it came, they thought they should receive more, but each of them received the daily wage. And when they received it, they were grumbling, right? Now, this is those who came first were grumbling. And they said, "These last only worked 1 hour. You've made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." Right? I mean, come on. That goes into our sense of fairness. If I've been out here busting my butt since early morning, all day, it's been hot. Right now it's pretty hot out and it's sunny. I'm sunburned. I'm tired. I mean, everything's sore. Right? How come I'm getting paid the same as this bozo who didn't even bother to get out of bed until noon and join us in the last hour? How's that fair? They weren't even really working that hard anyway. They should get one little bit compared to what I did. I earned this. This is the line that always gets me. But the owner replied to them, "Friend, I'm doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for the daily wage? True. Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give to this last the same as I give you. Am I not allowed to do with what belongs to me? Or are you envious because I am generous?" So the last will be first and the first will be last. Right? This is a story that Jesus says, this is what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like. Your kingdom come, right? This thing that we work towards on earth, that'll be fulfilled by God ultimately, right? We're working towards this kingdom. And God in Jesus Christ is saying, yeah, you know what? The deal is the same with everybody. Even if you showed up at the last minute and barely worked compared to those that have been steady all day, you're all getting the same thing. And it's not because I'm cheating you. I'm just choosing to be generous with them. That always speaks to me. It's because you're envious because I choose to be generous. That's God's grace. God chooses to heap the same amount of grace unconditionally on all of us. Right? This is the God. That's the other thing too. God seeks these people out. I think it gets lost in this. God seeks them out in the workplaces to bring them into the kingdom. and gives them all the same grace. So he goes against our world. It's not fair. I worked harder. I deserve better. I'm better than them. That's not the way God's world's going to work. None of us are better than the other before God. We're all equal. We all fall short of God's glory. And it's only because of God's evenly given grace to all of us that we're welcomed into the kingdom. Again, it's not that people say, "Oh, I've been a Christian my whole life. I've given to churches. I've sacrificed so much," and yet, the person that converts on their deathbed, we're not the same. But it's their loss. I mean, frankly, if you're converting on your deathbed, you've missed out on a whole lifetime of a relationship with God. You've missed out being part of the greatest movement humankind has ever seen in the church. You're missing out on this community of people who love you and care for you, are here for you, that push you and challenge you in new ways, that help you grow, that help fertilize that good soil, right? So we got to stop looking at everything the way that the world has taught us to. The world is inherently flawed. Human rationality and sin is flawed. That's just the line that always sticks with me. Are you envious because I choose to be generous? Do we get mad at generosity? It's a deep question to think about. So, I can talk about this one all day. But don't worry, it'll come up in the lectionary this year, so no worries, I'll get another shot. So, I want you to think about grace today. I want you to think about how God chooses to be generous with us. I want you to think about what is our role in this whole kingdom, right? What is God doing to help us grow? And what's our response? Is it to grumble? Or is it to give thanks for such a generous God? Thanks be to God. Have a good day.